How you doing, guys? Big Mac Danskull here, back once again with another Mortal Realms video for you. Let's take a look together through the pages of issue 21. Now, before I go any further, I'd like to say a massive thank you once again to Splinter for sponsoring this video. Splinter is one of a number of very generous viewers who have supported the channel, enabling me to cover Mortal Realms magazine this far. However, I've come to a decision that will affect those patrons. Issue 24 will be the last issue that I cover on the channel. I'm going to explain the reasons behind that decision now, but if you'd like to skip to the coverage of the issue, jump ahead to the timestamp that's on screen now. The reason I'm going to issue 24 is that I have 3 unfulfilled Immortal sponsor pledges left to fulfill, and then I'm going to cancel that pledge level once those rewards are completed. I've thought about this for a while now, and there are a number of reasons I'm ending my coverage. Number one, at the minute it's taken me 2 full evenings a week to get the videos done, and they're only 7 to 10 minutes long. Number 2 is that my heart just isn't in it in the same way it was for Conquest. I can't seem to get into the AoS lore in the same way I can into 40k. I thought I'd start the magazine and my enthusiasm would grow, but it's just not doing that, and I feel like it's coming across in the videos. So I've made the decision, and we'll see how that affects the Patreon going forward. But I'm hoping that coverage of things that I'm more enthusiastic about on my channel will help me strengthen the channel and community around it. So, back to the issue, number 21. It comes with 5 more Dreadside Harridans. These are the same that came in issue 17, so we can value them at £13.75. That's given us a saving of £5.76 for the issue. Also in the mag, we get the Chaos Gods and your first Battleplan Warscrolls. On the first page we get a band of brothers. This is more Stormcast lore and tells us about the Brotherhoods of the Stormcast Eternals. A Brotherhood is a band of Stormcast Eternals that temporarily combine forces under a leader in order to achieve a particular goal or secure a prized objective. Warriors can be drawn from across the various chambers and are normally carefully selected, but on occasion Brotherhoods are formed in the heat of battle in order to take advantage of a tactical opportunity. Brotherhoods is not the only name for them. Other names include wings or forces. One of the first Stormcast forces to enter the Mortal Realms was the Hammers of Sigmar Thunderstrike Brotherhood. It was made up of warriors from every conclave in the chamber and battled the Gortide to seize the realm gate of the Brimstone Peninsula in Akshi. Though small in size, the Thunderstrike Brotherhood proved devastating indeed. The title at the top of the next page is both feared and beloved. The paragraph that follows goes on to explain this, stating that the arrival of a storm host is not always met with joy. The Knights Excelsior, for example, are known for their destructive methods of making war. The battlefields they leave behind are often scorched and smoking. For this reason, they are treated warily by their allies. Their role in Sigmar's forces is that of destroyer and annihilator. On to the next page we get the Chaos Gods. From beyond the boundaries of reality, the Chaos Gods look upon the 8 realms with hungry eyes. They seek to invade and corrupt reality, as it is in their nature to destroy. Nurgle is the Lord of Disease. He gains strength in times of pestilence and rampant contagion. Khorne is the Blood God, the Lord of Skulls. There is room in his heart for rage and rage alone. He seeks to test his might against the most powerful of foes. The next god is the newest of the Chaos Pantheon, the Great Horned Rat. He is the god of the Skaven race and is not considered equal by his brothers. It says here that he is blight and pestilence given form, but their characteristics that I'd associate with Nurgle. It then goes on to say that soon he will rise, as treacherous plotting has always been the way of vermin. Scheming and plotting are things I'd associate with a god I'll talk about shortly, Tzeentch. My point here is that I'm not really sure why they made the Great Horned Rat part of the Chaos Pantheon. What's the point of having a Chaos God that covers the same ground as existing gods? My best guess is that they wanted to even out the new Grand Alliances when Age of Sigmar lore began, so they threw in the Skaven with Chaos, but why not just have them worship the existing gods? Just a thought. Slaanesh, the Dark Prince, the god of excess and pleasure. Slaanesh's throne currently sits empty. His minions despair and the remaining powers rejoice. I suggest you look into the lore of some of the elven races for some clues as to his whereabouts. And finally, Tzeentch, the changer of ways, the great manipulator and architect of fate, is forever coming up with new schemes, plots within plots that are beyond the understanding of mere mortals. Boom! Chaos Gods in a nutshell. Of Bones and Blood, Encounters with the Dead by Tyrus von Stadt. On the next page we get a note from Senior Librarian of Lethis, Silas Rothervale. It's basically an overview of the contents of the Book of Bones and Blood. It's a lovely little bit of lore, and I'm hoping subscribers get some pages from the book throughout the course of the magazine. Next up, we get the How to Build section. We've had these miniatures already, so I'm not really sure we need this, but it's just 2 pages long, so at least it's not taking up too much space. After that, we have 4 pages of How to Paint section, and then onto the Playthrough section. As always, we get a handy reference sheet at the start that gives us some handy reminders of things like the turn sequence and the various steps in certain phases. Over the course of the next 4 pages, we get our first 4 complete war scrolls for both Sequitors and Chainrasp hordes, as well as some handy reminders of both units' various abilities. Then, we come to the Haunted Wilds. The forests of Gairan swarm with undead spirits. The malevolent Nighthaunt seek to despoil the woodland home of the Sylvaneth. This is a lovely little bit of lore that sets up this week's battle plan. War comes to Gairan. The armies are 15 Chainrasps for the Nighthaunt and 5 Sequitors for the Stormcast. The setup, the players alternate setting up units, starting with the Stormcast player. Obviously both players only have 1 unit in this mission, so it's quick and simple. The units for both armies must be set up wholly within the territory. If you look behind me at the battlefield, you'll see the territories for both sides marked out at either end. The first turn goes to the Stormcast player in this battle plan, but you'll be rolling off to see who goes first in each of the subsequent turns. And finally, glorious victory! The game ends when one player has no models left on the battlefield. Simple as that. Next week, Immortal Realms. We're getting 2 paints, so seemingly a lower value issue, which will hopefully be full of lore. And then in issue 23 we have some Stormcast reinforcements in the form of Liberators and Prosecutors. Our first non-sacrosanct chamber models, I believe, and the only ones I'll be picking up. Before you go, don't forget to give the video a like if you've enjoyed it. Any questions you've got you can ask in the comments below. There's a button here for you to subscribe if you've not already done so, and a Patreon link here if you'd like to support the channel. There's also a couple of videos here for you to check out at your leisure. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the battlefield.